So today we got some pretty important news in the world of Magic the Gathering, kind of out of nowhere. Came with this article, What Are Play Boosters by Mark Rosewater, and we'll get into the details of this, but basically what they're going to be doing is combining draft and set boosters into one product called Play Boosters. So let's set the stage with a little bit of history about how Magic products have existed in the past. So from the beginning of Magic up until War of the Spark, right here, this was the only booster box that existed. Whenever a set came out, this was your only option. You would just get a booster box of the set. However, with the release of Throne of Eldraine, they introduced this product right here, Collector Boosters. So for Throne of Eldraine, Theros Beyond Death, Ikoria, and I think Core 2021, you had the option of buying a draft booster box or a collector booster box. Then with the release of Zendikar Rising in 2020, they introduced another type of booster box, the set booster box. So that meant that for each set, you would have the option of buying 3 different booster boxes. With the introduction of set booster boxes in Zendikar Rising, that also brought with it the list, which didn't exist before that. And it seemed like these products were pretty well received, but they definitely had their issues, and those are some of the things that this article is going to talk about. So basically what they're talking about is the different problems that exist with having set boosters and draft boosters. Problem number 1 being that set booster boxes eclipsed draft booster boxes. This is something that people have talked about pretty extensively in the past, is that people just tend to want to buy set booster boxes. It says here that set boosters became the top choice for players. He stresses not by a little bit, but significantly. And the problem is that set boosters are not designed for limited play. So for example, if a store only had set boosters in stock, they couldn't run drafts. Problem number 2, it causes inventory problems. This is something I like about this article, is that it's actually recognizing some of the problems that stores are having nowadays. It says that a store would buy product A and sell it, then they use the money to buy product B. They sell product B and use the money to buy product C. If for some reason they don't sell all of a product, it gets stuck in their inventory, meaning it isn't converted into money to buy the next product. If this happens enough, it causes huge problems for stores. Does that sound like a recent product at all? Something that starts with Commander and ends with Masters? Once upon a time, a store just had one booster to buy for any Magic set, so that's what they bought. Now every set releases with both set boosters and draft boosters. Most of their customers prefer set boosters, but limited play, which fosters community and can be additional income for a store, requires draft boosters. So how much do you get of each? Get too many set boosters and not enough draft boosters, you can't run limited events, which cost the store money. Get too many draft boosters and not enough set boosters, you run out of what the customer wants to buy, which also costs you money. It also talks about here how limited play, especially draft, is a huge part of the Magic ecosystem, and if people are only buying set boosters instead of draft boosters, that can be a problem for the Magic ecosystem, and seeing draft boosters and limited play disappear would be a big problem for players and stores. This is a pretty big point I feel here. It causes confusion in the marketplace. I feel like this is very true. Having two things that are similar but not quite the same causes several issues. One of those is people confuse the two. Maybe an individual buys a draft booster when they mean to buy a set booster, or vice versa. This is another thing that I'm quite glad the article touches on, because this is a pretty big issue today, is that there's just so much different Magic stuff that it's near impossible for stores to keep track of it all, and some people just kind of give up on it. So what I really like here is that it looks like they're at least starting to try and rein in things a little bit. It mentions a couple more problems here and makes some Magic boosters less desirable. For example, if stores are using boosters as prize support for their events, and say they only have draft boosters available, people would want set boosters open because, they tend to get better value and cooler things than that, so players can get upset for getting the wrong kind of booster. It says they want a Magic player to be happy with every Magic booster they get, whether they buy it themselves, win it as a prize, or get it as a gift. Then the last problem, every booster buyer wasn't getting all the cool stuff. In an ecosystem with set boosters and draft boosters, customers don't get the full experience. Either they buy set boosters and don't play limited formats, or they buy draft boosters and miss out on cool things like getting multiple rares. Why can't they get both? The article then goes over here some issues with why set boosters weren't playable products. And you can read those in detail if you want, but basically, yeah, set boosters weren't playable for limited events. So basically what they've done is try and address some of these issues and make a set booster type of product actually playable for limited. So they came up with this product that this article is about now, play boosters, which is what we'll get in the future instead of draft boosters and set boosters. And it says here that a play booster is a draftable booster in which you can get up to 4 rares total. So there are 14 playable cards in this booster, and then there is one non-playable slot here at the end, which is going to be your ad or token or helper or art card, that kind of thing. The first 6 slots in the booster pack will be commons. The 7th slot can also be a common, but it could be a card from the list. Slots 8 through 10 are uncommons. Slot 11 is a rare or a mythic. Slot 12 is a basic land. Slot 13 is a non-foil wild card. And slot 14 is a foil wild card. So compare this to a traditional draft booster. You're getting fewer commons, but you're getting more opportunity to open rares basically, because in a draft booster you would get a bunch of commons, you would get 3 uncommons, 1 rare, possibly a foil as well. So you could open, usually in most sets, potentially 2 rares per pack. In some sets though, you could potentially open 3 rares per pack in maybe one of the Innistrad sets or something like that, where they had the flip cards, because you could get your regular rare, your flip card could be a rare, and your foil could also be a rare. In these play boosters though, you have your rare, your foil can be a rare, your non-foil wild card can be a rare, and also you could get a rare from the list as well. This is something that is, I'm not sure how this is going to play out, but they say that they've taken this into account, but that your card from the list will be playable in limited from what I understand. The article goes over the likelihood of opening a card from the list, says most of the time 7 out of 8 or 87.5%. The slot will be a 7th common, but an 1/8 of the time you'll get a card from the list. In the past, the list has been mostly reprints of older cards. Play boosters are going to tinker with what exactly can be on the list. For example, when play boosters premiere, the list will include what we call special guests, 10 cards that are exciting reprints that we can give new art and will thematically tie into whatever set they are in. In addition to the special guests, there will be 40 cards that are reprints without new art. Of those, 30 will be common or uncommon, and 10 will be rare or mythic rare. This is down from the 300 cards that previous iterations of the list had. So this is something that I'm cautiously optimistic about, because one big problem that I had with the list, and I feel like a lot of people had as well, was that most of the time you would just open garbage when you got a list card. You would get some random unplayable common or uncommon from a set that was in the list for reasons, I guess. Hopefully with this, it looks like big curating of the list, down from 300 cards to 40, maybe all the cards that you get on the list will actually be interesting to open. So here goes over the specific comparisons with a play booster compared to a set booster or a draft booster. So a play booster compared to a set booster is that it has +2 playable cards, no connected commons or uncommons, -1 non-foil wild card, -1 non-playable object. The token and art cards were different slots in the set booster. Only a 1 in 3 opportunity of an art card. Set boosters always had an art card. And then here is a play booster compared to a draft booster, based on the default without a traditional foil card. Previously, draft boosters had a traditional foil approximately 1/3 of the time. So it has the potential to open up to 4 rare or mythic cards, -1 playable card, -3 commons, +1 non-foil wild card, +1 traditional foil wild card, a 1 in 8 opportunity of getting a card from the list. The list didn't appear in draft boosters previously. Roughly a 1 in 3 opportunity of an art card. Art cards also didn't previously appear in draft boosters. This part is pretty important. When can we expect play boosters? Play boosters will premiere with Murders at Karlov Manor. This means that Lost Caverns of Ixalan and Ravnica Remastered will not have them. Play boosters will sell for the same price as set boosters. Play booster display boxes, however, will have 36 boosters like draft booster displays did. This is because 2 boxes are exactly enough for 3 8-player drafts. Because that is 6 more boosters than set booster displays have right now, be aware that the price of a play booster display box will be higher than that of a set booster display box. So overall, so far at least, I'm actually in favor of these play boosters, but this part right here is the main issue I have with it, is that the price of a play booster display box will be higher than that of a set booster display box. Prices just keep going up, and basically what this means is that there is no cheap option anymore. You know, before set boosters and draft boosters were two different things. There was only just a booster box of a set, which was, I guess, a draft booster, but before it was called a draft booster. And then when they introduced set boosters, they increased the price of this new product. Set boosters cost more than draft boosters. Now they're combining the two products together and making there only be one option in the future, which is even more expensive than set boosters. And here is something it touches on: will playing in limited events cost more? Because, you know, this is what we're going to use for limited events. This is the only type of booster box outside of a collector booster or a jumpstart booster, but once again, we don't talk about those. Likely, yes, play boosters match the cost of a set booster, not a draft booster, which will result in limited environments going up in cost slightly. So to me, basically what that says is Magic is going to continue to get more expensive, but it was going to anyway. But as I said, that's really the only negative thing that I can see in here personally anyway. Outside of that, I'm in favor of this change from going from set and draft boosters to just play boosters, because, you know, it's become a running joke with how many different products Magic has for everything that they release, and, you know, how many different art styles of each card there is, and just that nobody can keep track of what is what anymore. And basically what I see them doing here is hopefully beginning to rein things in a little bit. Maybe this is a taste of things to come, and I'm hoping that they'll continue with this a bit, because there are just too many different variations of every Magic thing to keep track of at this point. It would be really cool if special things actually felt special again, instead of everything being special and therefore nothing feeling special. So outside of the increase in price, I'm cautiously optimistic about this, and it'll be interesting to see where it goes in the future. So let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. I'm sure that there is a lot to think about regarding this product. There's a lot that can be said about it. Otherwise though, if you're still watching, thanks for watching. It'd be cool if you could like and subscribe and all that kind of stuff. I'd encourage everyone to come join my Discord server. You can find a link to that in the video description below. I'd also like to thank all the patrons that support me on Patreon, and this time we'll do a bit of a different shout out for my Twitch page right here. You can see I do stream on Twitch, 8th Place Dave. I recommend giving me a follow there. But otherwise though, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.